From Super League to Olympic distance to age group world records to Kona. Go longer with the right fuel at the right time with SFuels.
We're gonna swim, bike and run in the Kona sun. We're gonna swim, bike and run in the Kona sun, 'cause it's breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Pancho Man. Welcome to our 11th year of Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Huggles on the Rocks. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Master Spas, SFuels Go Longer, HOKA Let's Fly, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Quintanaroo, Zoot, the original triathlon brand, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, a former star of World of Warcraft, Mr. Kristian Hogenhaug. How you doing, Kristian?
I'm good. Arrived 1 week ago and staying with 3 other Danes in an amazing little trip. So we have very good energy, very good humor, and seems so far like the perfect prep. Yeah.
Perfect preparation.
Yeah.
Now, have you raced here before?
I've raced here in 16 as an age grouper.
Okay.
And then after that, I decided to try and go pro because it went okay. And then I raced here, the last time in 19.
19?
Yeah.
And how'd you do in 19?
I think I placed 18th. It was a humbling experience on the run. I think I ran more with closed eyes than open.
I don't think you're the only one.
I figured out, with the straight roads, it's I could do that, and it was try to get away from the pain I was in. Yeah.
Well, and then we chatted in St. George, and you ended up not having a good one there. A little DNF at St. George.
Yeah, so I had a really good race a month prior in Salou, and
you won.
So and number wise, it was a very good performance. So I figured I want to push it the last month and really go for it.
Yes.
And then we're not sure what happened, but might have been some kind of overtraining, because after St. George it took 4 months just before my body could kind of
4 months.
Yeah, readapt to, and I could absorb training again, so I could be totally bashed from a 3-hour ride with 200 watts.
Wow. So the nice thing is you had some downtime, so now you're focusing just on this.
But I still had to get my Kona slot, but managed that in
Germany.
Yeah.
So you got 5th at Germany, and
yeah.
Look again, 49-minute swim, 4:19 bike, 2:49, 8:03. That's impressive stuff considering the lead-in when you hadn't been feeling good.
Yeah. I wasn't in very good shape, but managed to pull it off anyway. So I was really happy with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so since then, has the focus been this race?
Pretty much. Not trying to overdo anything. I don't want to end up in a situation like before. So this time I have really listened to the body instead of trying to push through. So there's a lot of good learnings from that experience, because it was four tough months. Yeah.
Did they ever figure out what it was? Was it a bug of some sort, or?
Yeah, not like we changed a lot in the training or did something we hadn't done before. So maybe maybe a combination of some virus in the system, and then the fact that we just kept doing what we were doing, and we could just see on all the numbers leading up to the race that my heart rate was rising and the HRV was going down, but we couldn't get out of that bad circle. Yeah, so it was probably too late when I arrived in St. George.
And then 6th at the U.S. Open, so you're going against 70.3 specialists, and you had a good race.
Yeah, so that was a nice turnaround of
Big
things.
Time.
Yeah, so that was really nice. So yeah, that was a good race. I think I paced it very well. Seems like it was way hotter in Dallas than it is here.
But I've heard that from a number of people. They feel like, okay, you just had this great race in really hot conditions against probably one of the greatest fields ever, and you get 6th place there. That's pretty impressive, especially because that's not what you're focusing on. You're focusing on this.
Yeah. Of course, I'd done a lot of like heat prep back in Denmark.
Yes.
Since it's very cold there, so you have to do it in a lot of different ways. But that was. I never really had the feeling that I was overcooking it.
Right.
So that's a huge confidence boost for this race.
So take me back to when you first got into all this stuff, because you were growing up, World of Warcraft, computer games. One of your teachers was into Ironman, and that's what got you into it, because you weren't into sports at all, right?
Yeah, no, not really. I always enjoyed from comic series, Dragon Ball. I always was really entertained by how they were training a lot and fighting each other, and I always found that really cool. So I think I've maybe always had that in the back of my mind.
Yes.
And then when I got introduced to triathlon 10 years ago, I really hadn't done anything elite sports prior to that, but it just really caught my interest, and things just developed from there.
What was the race? Was there one race where you felt like, I can become a pro at this? I'm better than maybe I thought I was?
Maybe when I raced here in 16.
Okay.
I came second.
That was an age grouper.
Yeah, I came here second in my age group, and then I thought like maybe that was kind of if I wanted to keep progressing, it was felt like it was better for me to try and go pro. Right. Even though I had a fear that I would end up in the bottom of the pro rankings, but when I got my first Ironman win in 19 in Hamburg, that was probably when I felt like, okay, this is maybe something I can do for a living. But prior to that, I don't think it really never crossed my mind that I could make a living out of it.
But now you are.
Yeah, now I am, and it's still a bit crazy to think about sometimes.
When I look at it, was it 2021? You did Ironman Mallorca, the World Tri Long Distance Championship, Ironman Germany, Ironman Lanzarote, Ironman Tulsa. And I think you might have dug yourself a little hole with a lot of Ironman racing in 1 year, you think?
Yeah, like also the 4 months following St. George, maybe, As I said, we really don't know, because last year I raced 5 Ironmans in 5 months, but I always kind of felt like I got better. And I think there was one guy who mentioned that maybe it's just because you can't train that much between and you get a little bit more fresh each time. So that's also something I have taken into consideration, because I've always thought that maybe I could kind of raise myself into fitness with the long distance races. Right. So not sure if I'm ever gonna do that many again in that short of a time span. Also because you kind of limit. You can kind of keep your fitness, but it's hard to improve in that period.
Improve, yeah.
And it's like almost a half year where you really don't improve. So that's definitely also something to take into consideration.
I mean, because you were because you went 8 hours. 8 hours at Ironman Germany and 8:06 at Ironman Mallorca. So you were being consistent, like you said. You're not necessarily improving. You're staying in the same place. I remember talking to Ben Hoffman. He found that after doing Kona, and he and Joe Skipper in 19, they came here, and then 3 weeks later went to Florida, and both of them had great races, ran like mid 236, 237, something like that. And he felt that 3 weeks, because you don't really, you take a week to sort of recover from the race you just did, and then you build again to that race, and then you're okay.
Yeah, but I also found that like you can race a really good 2 Ironman within a 3 week time span.
Yes.
And I think because maybe you're really fresh for the second, and you still have I think it gives a little boost in some way.
Yes.
Can't explain like the physiology behind that, but it kind of feels like that. Like when you get the engine going after 5 hours or something like that, it's kind of spins a little bit more smooth if you have a Ironman fresh in the legs. Yeah.
What's the goal here?
It's really tough feel. I would also really enjoy to like watch this race from the outside, because there is so many contenders for the win, so many contenders for top 3, and I think like maybe almost everyone could go into the top 10. But I think a realistic goal for me would be to try and go for a top 10 here, and then like the absolute dream goal would be a top 5 this year.
Good for you. Now, will you do 70.3 Worlds as well, or this is
no? I think I'm gonna try and do maybe Arizona in late November.
Yeah,
and then for once try and get a Kona slot early. Yeah. And then focus a bit more on development in the early year next year.
I love it. Kristian, always a pleasure. I don't want to ever play computer games with you because I think you'd hurt me pretty badly. Kristian Hogenhaug has been our guest, everybody. Pancho Man, take us out.
We're going to swim back and run in the Kona sun. We're going to swim back and run in the Kona sun. And it's breakfast with Bob. Choo-hoo.
Nice. Thank you.